So what's going on, people? Welcome to a video on the channel, and sorry for the delay on everything towards this, but we've got some Battlefield 2042 news in terms of we've got some dates towards the open beta and also the early access towards the open beta as well. So throughout this video I will be showing a lot of the pictures that have been tweeted and been found throughout the EA website, just because there's certain things that people have missed, so I just want to try and showcase that type of stuff without, missing certain informations. So if we start it off with the dates and the times for each of the different stages. So the start of it is going to be the preload. That's going to start on October 5th, so that means you'll be able to preload the open beta from October 5th. And all the time zones all correspond on the screen right now, so don't worry, you can see which time zone affects yourself. So that means, I don't have to relay every single time zone in the entire world. The access to the open beta for the early access people who pre-order the game have access from the 6th and the 7th, and the times throughout all of this are actually consistent throughout every single stage. For open access, for every single person to be able to access the open beta, it's going to play from the 8th and the 9th, and then the closing date for the open beta is going to be the 10th. Now, the way that this actually all works out, if we work it all out, usually for open betas and everything, they do extend it for maybe one more day, maybe 2 more days. The open beta does finish on a Sunday, so it might be extended by 2 days, who knows. Sometimes EA can be a little bit generous, and sometimes companies can be a smallest bit generous about extending the betas, so we'll see what happens when we actually get onto this. Now, some details about the beta itself is going to be taking place on the map Orbital, so this is going to be also including the mode of Conquest. The only 4 specialists that we're going to be able to be using is also Boris, Casper, Falk and McKay, the 4 that we originally got revealed at the start of the game. And also for any content creators or just people out there that want to just share some things about the beta itself, then you can do it. There's no NDA at all, so that means you can share, you can upload, you can do anything towards anything throughout the game. If people want to just stream it, go and stream it, why not? Go do it. Now, one additional thing that has been showcased is about the player cards. Now, the player cards are going to be included into the open beta, and the player cards itself is essentially how a lot of the other games have done it, but not as much detail. This player card is more towards a COD type of vibe, so that means you can customize it as any way you want. Throughout this entire thing, there's certain ways that you'll be able to show off your player card is through your player level, your player icon or title, player card arts, which are going to be background pieces of art, and you'll also be able to choose up to 3 badges that you've earned through mastering weapons, vehicles, gadgets and specialists. And I will also share on the screen the type of badges that they've also been putting out. These are all work in progress images, so they're not going to be probably the final thing, or they might be the final product itself, but they've actually showcased the weapon mastery for the K30, so that means it showcases different tiers for different medals. That means you can equip either of these medals that you kind of want. So there's 5 tiers for your mastery. There's of course the bronze, silver, gold, as far as we can tell is like a diamond or platinum, and then also the top tier, which we don't know the actual name of, but it's got a black and red type of design itself. It could be anything, or it could just be called tier 1. It's the same for tier 2. That one could be a platinum, or it could just be something in terms of like a diamond or something on those lines. Now, the way to earn these badges haven't actually been put out to how you've actually earned them just yet. My guessing is that you're going to have to do certain challenges for that weapon. So of course you're going to have to get the headshots, kills, just time used, those type of objectives towards getting these medals, so that means you can actually showcase them. So as soon as you go from maybe each tier, there's going to be different challenges to use for that weapon. That could be a little bit of a better way of doing it, but of course we're going to have to find out when the beta comes out to how we actually earn these tiers for certain weapons. So there are two other things that I will just showcase just on the screen. First one is about the PC specs. Now I don't know much about PC, but I will just put them on the screen, so that means you guys can see what the minimum and of course recommended PC specs are for playing the open beta. Now this is only for the open beta. These could have different specs to what the full game are. It could be a lot more demanding, the full game itself, especially with more maps, more things throughout the maps as well, or it could be very similar. For myself, I'm going to play it just on my Series X instead, so that means I don't have to figure out which things I actually need for the PC itself, just because I don't have a full-on high-end PC. I've had a PC for about 3 years, so mine's a bit dated for everything else, but it still can run the minimum PC requirements for the open beta if I really want to. And for one of the final things, they did showcase the controls for the open beta and the button layouts for the open beta for PC, Xbox and for PlayStation. Now each of them I will put on the screen. I will go PC first, and then I'll go Xbox, and then I'll go PlayStation. So that means you guys can actually see what each of the button layouts are for each of the platforms. Now of course, if you are a veteran towards Battlefield, or if you're new to it, you can probably see that there are some similarities and of course some major differences between different Battlefield games, and a lot of different games to how the button layouts are set up, especially for console players. Now I will say, of course, for console players, don't take these control sets as the main thing. These could be just the default control sets. Of course we're going to have different layouts because people like to play differently. They could just go back to a classic Battlefield mode as well, just because from the controller layout it doesn't actually tell you how to do certain things, like, you know, marking or throwing a grenade, because of course they've got a grenade button on the D-pad for both of them, but of course you're going to have to use the bumpers. Right now it just says hold and select the call-ins for your bumpers both at the same time. It doesn't have individual things. I think throughout that one they are just showcasing that there is a difference between that, so that means you do have to hold both of the bumpers to actually get the call-in setting. But of course the right and left bumper, or R1 and L1, are both going to be used for grenades and of course for spotting. And one last thing that I did forget about is the open beta cosmetics. Now there are going to be 4 different tiers. There's going to be a common, rare, epic and legendary. Now the common tier rarities towards the customizations are going to be grey, the rare are going to be blue, epic is going to be purple, and legendary is going to be golden. And on the images that I'm showing on the screen right now, these are tier 1 skins, and they've got the same type of colour scheme as what the tier 1 medal for mastery of a weapon has. So it's got a black and red type of vibe. I do like this black and red type of vibe. It's very nice. You know, it's more like a midnight type of theme towards it. It'll be rubbish on certain maps because you'll be able to see the person for ages, especially on the snow maps and anything that's a light. You can easily see that skin, but as soon as it gets to like a dark map, you'll be like completely blind. Instead you'll be unnoticed, so you know, it'll be nice to have. Of course we're gonna have to see what the different rarities are going to actually look like for certain parts, because we could have anything. Because the skins itself, it could go for the specialist weapons, including the charms, and vehicles, which includes the decals as well. So that is everything for the open beta, for what we learned today. I'm sorry that it's been a delay for a video. I'm just trying to think of what to do, essentially, and getting the motivation to actually do stuff. Work's taking it a bit out of me, but I just need a bit more time just to myself, just to get used to doing certain things, and then I should be up and running, hopefully. I'm just thinking of different things to do on the channel, so hope you guys enjoy. Remember to like, subscribe, and hopefully I will have a video very, very soon for something maybe very, very different than Battlefield 2042. If not, I'll see you guys in the beta. So, peace out.